your full theater. It's amazing. So I just want to say welcome. Thank you to Sundance for programming our film and all the love that the Sundance team has showed our film. And a quick thank you to the people who made the film possible. Cinema New Teal, Blink Digital. Thank you for your faith in the film and me. And for showing the faith in the form of cold hard cash, which means but you got your tickets, you may have noticed that the film is called Girls Will Be Girls. So I also want to shout out a few very special girls who made the film possible. My fellow producers, who are not here at this screening, unfortunately, but our Indian producer, Richa Chadda, who's one of my oldest friends, and our French producer, Claire Chassain. And the film was shot in India, and we did post-production in France, so most of our crew couldn't make it to Sundance, but at the end for the Q&A, if you do stay, you will meet another girl from our team, our cinematographer, Julie Tang, one of my oldest collaborators. And thank you to our wonderful cast who are right here, who you're going to... I won't say too much about them because you're about to discover their amazing, beautiful, brave work. And lastly, I just want to say, independent films take forever to make. Along the way, they're touched by many hands. And it's all for this moment in this dark room when the lights go down. And in a way, we turn the film over to you. It's our gift. It's an offering in a way. So I hope you open your hearts and allow yourselves to be swept away. Thank you and enjoy the film. And Keshav Binoy Kiran, who plays Shri. Also here with us is Julie Tang, our amazing cinematographer.
So for this Q&A, we are simulcasting into a second theater. So I'm going to do my best to repeat the questions so everyone in the other theater are able to hear them as well. But to start it off, I thought I would throw it to the audience and see if there's any questions in the audience. So just raise your hand and I would happily call on you. Yeah?
No, thank you so much for being here. The film was absolutely gorgeous. Question for Director Talati. I'd love to know a little bit more from the script writing, to the production, of how you got the idea and how the production evolved. Thank you.
So the question was a little bit more, kind of wanted to hear from the script writing to the production, just kind of how it all came to be.
Yeah. So I did not go to a boarding school, but I went to a school which had much of the similar ethos, where, forget dating, but we were not really allowed to hold hands or even talk too much to boys. Your teachers would pull you up and say, oh, don't talk to boys more than necessary. Of course, teenagers are teenagers everywhere, so, we found ways to get around those rules. So I would say when I started writing the script, it was from a place of rebellion. I really wanted to write a sexual awakening story because as young women growing up, we were really, I think, policed. Our bodies were policed. We were made to feel ashamed of our bodies and our sexuality. And I wanted to write a sexual awakening story and where a young woman had agency and was not punished. And so that was sort of the seed. And in terms of how that went to production, well, independent films, like I was saying earlier, take a long time. So I would say from the seed of the idea to now has been many years, more than I would like to admit. And though we shot the film last year, and to give you a sense of how, it's an Indian, French, Norwegian, and American co-production. And so that is just to tell you that little pieces of the puzzle came from many places because different countries have all these different funding models. So in Europe, in France, and Norway, we have grants, which came first. And then we had investors, and we shot last year in India, and we did post-production in France earlier. Well, we shot in 2022 and post-production in 2023, and now we're in 24.
Awesome. Yeah, right over here.
So I'm just wondering, Shree's intentions were kind of up to interpretation. I was just wondering what you guys thought of, like, did you think that he was using her, or was he really into her, or, like, I'm just wondering what you guys each really thought about that.
Awesome. So the question is kind of around the intentions of the characters and kind of how you explored that and what you brought to it.
Okay, I'm gonna let Keshav take that one.
So when I read the script, I never thought of Shri as a bad guy. But I remember the day I appeared on set, when we were about to start the shoot. Since majority of our crew were some brilliant women, I remember I had to explain myself to them. They thought that Shri was an asshole, and they were hurling all types of abuses at Shri. But and then I got so worried because I didn't want my first feature film to be of me playing a very bad guy, and the audience thinking of me as an asshole. So I went to Shuchi ma'am and I asked her that, do you think Shri is a bad guy? And she said that Shri is one of her favorite written characters, and Shri is actually not a bad guy. In fact, even when I was trying to understand the character, what led to a conclusion was that probably Shri is just another boy who thinks he's a man. He just thinks he's too mature, and he thinks he understands women, but even though he's a nice guy, he doesn't necessarily do that.
You might not want to know what's inside our head back then, because there are a lot of nasty things in our head back then. It's quite funny because we watched this film with another audience, and they were finding some moments very funny, and some like whenever Meera confronts her mother, and those moments turned out to be funny. But in my head, we worked with a method where she would come and whisper an intention in my head that, you know what, just think of anger, just think of how much you hate your mother, and in my head I'd be like, oh, this lady, I'm really gonna kill her. And then even keeping that intention in our head, we would not let those lines come out, but we just process that thing. We would eat that line in our head and in our body, and let everything we'd sit with that silence. So yeah, when the audience kind of laughed in those scenes, I was like, wow, is this really funny? Because I was really going through a lot of hatred in my mind that time. So yeah, that was for me. I mean,
I think it was Shuchi ma'am giving us the time to do what we wanted to do. In fact, I like to give this example of this scene where the biolab case. It was written on paper, but I remember her coming and telling both of us that I believe we both have got into the character, and now if you think your character wouldn't kiss at this moment, it's okay, don't do it. And for me, that was there was so much confidence that the director has written something, but she's actually telling you that, if you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. And similarly, in each of these scenes, we were given that time to get into it, to react, even after the dialogues, or even the dialogues were not just how it was in the paper. So yeah, I think it's all thanks to her.